It's now been almost a year since Vitaly did the awful mistake of stealing a motorcycle, harassing locals, stealing officers' hats, threatening to rob an elder lady, and stealing from local businesses, all while live streaming it for everyone to see in the Philippines. I don't know about you guys, but the Philippines is probably one of the last places I would ever want to F around.
I'm gonna get arrested, oh no! Oh no, mommy! Bruh.
But since then, we've had reports that Vitaly's new strategy is to now turn to religion, and his cameraman has apparently been indicted, because unfortunately for Vitaly, you have people in charge of the country saying they will punish him to the fullest extent of the law. But here I've been sitting for quite a while with the main question of, what does the Filipino population actually think of this? And what do legal professionals over there think of this? And can I trace back his steps of that day to get a better feel of how stupid all this was? My only problem is, it's December, and I'd prefer not to leave home for any longer than I have to. So I found a flight route which takes 23 hours to get there, which then gives me 12 hours in the Philippines before I have to fly 23 hours home. So after thinking about it for a little bit, I could either sit here and yap about the story, or I could go out and investigate for myself. Now, obviously, Vitaly has been famous on the internet for a long time. The dude went from pranks to incredibly stupid stunts in Egypt, which got him arrested. And I think him being arrested and released so quickly in Egypt is kind of what gave him that false sense of security to F around like he did in the Philippines. But he then went back to Miami, and at this point in time, it seemed like his career was doing really well, until he decided to beat a woman senseless for jogging outside of his home. So obviously, he got arrested for that. The body cam footage went extremely viral.
Do you know me? Do I know you? No.
But after that happened, that's all we heard from Vitaly for a while. Then a few years later, he returned and started making these PDF catching videos. And suddenly, he gained a pretty large following again, until he lost his entire team. So after losing his entire team, for some reason, then he decided to go all in on streaming himself harassing people in Asia, because clearly that went extremely well for Johnny Somali. Except Vitaly decided to pick a country that's way tougher on crime than South Korea, and decided to do things which could throw him in prison for 20 years while live streaming himself doing so. Oh boy, I still have no clue why anyone would decide that's a good idea, but I guess we could backtrack his footsteps and see how it's like to be there.
All right, we just ran into our first problem. Got to the airport, everything was looking great. Got here like 2 hours early. Get to my gate, and I find out, oh, plane's not here. It's now 20 minutes past when we're supposed to board. It's not looking good. We're finally boarding, but the boarding of my next flight ends 30 minutes after I land. So this is probably gonna be one of those full sprint moments just to make this flight. Alright, so I land in about 1 hour. I haven't been able to sleep. Off to a great start.
And welcome to San Francisco, where the local time is 10:20 p.m.
Alright, update. We're good. The plane apparently made up like 40 minutes in time, so I no longer need to sprint to my gate, so I can just kind of casually walk to it, board right away, but it seems like it'll all work out.
Alright, we're like 13 hours into the flight. We have about 2 hours left or something like that. I'm currently just walking around to talk to my camera because I don't want to wake the people sleeping next to me. But, yeesh.
All right, so we're in Manila. First problem, how do I get to Bonifacio? So I found out there's something called Grab. That's their version of Uber, Uber Eats, and so on and so on. Only problem is they do not accept my card. So now I have to find a 7-Eleven and top up my Grab card so I can then use their Uber service. Adventure time.
Oh, he has a chicken.
And this is the exact area where he ran off with the motorcycle. It's crazy I know exactly where I am, even though I've never been here before. Beautiful day in Bonifacio Global City, Manila, Philippines. But yeah, here he decided to just, number one, egg on this officer and start running off with his bike right there.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Can I shove this up your...
What?
Can I put this in your...
And he ran up and jumped on this, and he was doing all of his stuff to the women.
sitting at this restaurant right here. Then he continued through here, and it looks like we're gonna get into that courtyard where he started harassing, I guess, the second mall guard. Yeah, dude, the last thing I would ever want to do is go try to take any of their hats. Like, that's just crazy work.
So essentially, like, he started off at that intersection right there, walked all the way through here, ran around this building, crossed again, then went into this mall right here. Then he came back out, and then he ran in through this building right here.
He must have been here like early morning or something like that, because this is like at about 4 p.m. and clearly it's very busy here. You guys recognize this spot because he went straight up here and stole that mask right there.
They won't recognize me. They're gonna call more security with that one. It's fine.
There's like a high probability that that's the one. And obviously ran down and then went up over there. So he then came out that door over here, and then he decided to run across to here, and that's where he threatened that old lady to rob her because she wanted to ignore her and go about with her own day. And it was pretty much right after that moment that he decided that it was a good time to flee into the hotel that he was staying at, which is right here. He came from this hallway with his whole posse and his mom, and then he went down these stairs, and this is where he was like, I don't care if I get arrested. That'll be fun.
I know what I'm doing. It's not my first rodeo. And I'm not going to say, oh, don't arrest me. Here's the money. I will go to jail. I'm a proud man. I love jail. I get it up to be there for free. I don't have to pay.
And then he went up another escalator over here to one of the restaurants in the hotel. And that's where he proceeded to harass her. Correction, it would be this one right here. And it was at the top there. He welcomed the fact going to jail.
It's an entertaining stream, right? I told them I would give them the best IRL. They didn't believe me. Wait till I go to India or Russia.
Honestly, after being there, that just puts me in even more disbelief. But this is what I said about this back in March of 2025. This is a 33-year-old man harassing mall security for his live stream content. But unfortunately, just like basically all my other videos, it's all downhill from here. This gets so much worse, and things get so bad that I wouldn't be surprised if he would be arrested by the time this video gets released. Yeah, unfortunately, that aged a little bit too well, but little did I know that I would be named in the police report as the way the police found out about this incident. Now, this would have been seen regardless, because it's not like I'm the only commentary channel that would talk about this, but for the situation, I guess I was just the first to cover it, as I was simply stunned at how stupid a streamer could possibly be. And obviously, this was going to end badly. But my understanding is he acted this way to gain as many viewers as possible so he could then sit and gamble on stream, because often the way these gambling contracts work is they get paid per 1,000 people sit and watch them gamble. So the scheme is pretty simple. Do a whole bunch of crazy stuff for attention, and then do it for long enough to capture a large viewer base. Then, suddenly out of nowhere, go back to your hotel room and switch to gambling, which he did. So that's my theory on Vitaly's antics, but he only had one problem. He's no longer in America. He was in the Philippines, a place that's a whole lot more punishing when you break the law than what LA is. But real quick, I want to talk about today's sponsor, Cooper, because if there's one time of the year people accidentally waste a little bit too much money, it would be Christmas. Because every holiday season, shoppers miss out on billions in savings just because they didn't use discount codes that are already out there. The issue is most people don't know where to find them, and nobody really wants to sit around digging through sketchy coupon sites while, they're panic buying their gifts on December 23rd. And yeah, you do have that one app from back in the day that's still stuck dealing with lawsuits. Plus, a whole lot of people still have PTSD from that company when they got caught replacing creators as referral codes just for checking for coupons. So thankfully, there's an honest competitor by the name of Cooper, a coupon extension that actually checks for coupon codes instead of just replacing a referral code. TLDR, it doesn't steal from your favorite creators during the biggest shopping month of the year. But Coopert is a free browser extension that automatically finds, tests, and applies the best coupon codes at checkout. And it gives you cash back when you shop through partnered stores. Basically, it gives you the option to save some money while you're spending money, which is pretty clutch during the holidays. And Coopert also has a savings guarantee for eligible orders, where if they can't find a discount with certain websites, you'll still get some cash backs. So overall, Coopert saves you money in 3 different ways. It searches hundreds of thousands of sites for deals, it tests coupons for over 3 million retailers to make sure you're getting the lowest price. And it gives you cash back that you can withdraw to your bank or your PayPal. So if that sounds interesting, you can join millions of people that already use Coopert by clicking the link in the top description down below and adding it to your browser, so you can save a little bit of extra money this holiday season. But without further ado, let's continue the video. Because it wasn't like Vitaly was arrested immediately. The next day, Vitaly was walking around Makati, and a creator by the name of Eric, who goes by Unlock Philippines on YouTube, decided to confront him outside of a place called Shooter's Bar.
There's a content creator named Atozy.
No, I don't know who that
He
is.
just did a video on you 5 hours ago
Saying what?
saying that you were harassing people here in the Philippines.
Yeah, and what about me donating over $20,000 in the last 2 days?
Right. And as a content creator, that stuff kind of goes under.
No, it doesn't, because my editors are working on it, and I'm going to release the truth.
I'm saying when it happens, people don't broadcast that as much.
Yeah, but I don't get. For me, when you know what I mean, then I'm back on top. For me, when people talk shit, that's how I know I'm doing the right thing, because people want to bring me down when you're up.
And this response almost surprised me because Vitaly had been a full-time creator for something like 15 years, and he doesn't understand that people started talking about him here because he did something so stupid it could only land him in jail. But instead of fleeing the country like Sam Pepper recently did when he live-streamed himself committing a crime in India, Vitaly, I guess, was too stubborn and arrogant to think that his actions actually had consequences. So I guess Vitaly didn't see a problem with what he just did on stream.
Wait. So who is this creator, Chad?
Atozy, but he's
Tozy,
not-
he has like 1,000 subscribers?
No. He's got like 1 million or so. He's not
Oh, wow.
talking shit, bro. He's just it's what people show him what's going on here in the Philippines.
Okay.
Right. So like, what?
But there's Facebook videos of me. There's Facebook
No,
videos.
it's not videos. It was off of your stream, brother.
Yeah, but you watched the whole
Look, I'm
VOD.
gonna shake your hand right here. I'm gonna tell you right now.
What?
I'm not here to talk.
Okay, so Vitaly's entire argument here is because he gave money to some, he's allowed to treat others awfully and then farm them for his own content without consent. But things escalate when he calls them out directly for harassing strangers on the street.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell your viewers that you guys are better than this. You don't have to watch people f***ing with others and putting them down. You need to lift people up for a living.
And what do I do? You haven't watched all my
I have
VOD?
watched your streams.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit. And I came here to say that to everybody. You're a literal piece of shit.
Perfect, amazing. Jesus loves you too. Let's
Have a
go.
good one. Stay
Okay,
safe.
don't touch me before I knock you back out.
You're not gonna knock me out.
Oh yeah? What are you gonna do?
I guarantee you're not gonna knock me
Yo,
out.
back off.
Walk.
Oh, what are you gonna do about it?
He then gets walked out on the street by Eric, and he just keeps asking his chat if he should go fight Eric. I guess because his ego was hurt because he was called out for being a scumbag to everyday people on the street for his content. But he scoffs this off and goes back to his hotel. And then I guess he thinks all of this is behind him. But the next day comes around and he gets arrested. And this is the moment where it seems like Vitaly's entire trajectory of his life changes. Because suddenly it was globally announced that charges were filed against Vitaly in the Philippines. So here we have criminal charges filed against YouTuber Vitaly Zorovisky over viral BGC content. The Taguig City Police Station has taken swift and decisive action in response to viral video involving a Russian-American YouTuber Vitaly, who is now facing multiple criminal complaints following an incident in Bonifacio Global City that drew widespread public outrage. Authorities immediately launched an investigation after receiving reports from local residents and a security personnel who were allegedly harassed by the foreign content creator. Police gathered statements, reviewed footage from the viral video, and filed formal complaints before the city's prosecutor's office on April 3rd, 2025. They also coordinated with hotel management and local establishments in the area to secure evidence and ensure accountability. The incident stemmed from a video posted on April 1st, 2025 by the YouTube channel Atozy, titled "Scumbag IRL Streamer Destroys His Life in the Philippines Live." That title aged incredibly well, unfortunately. The video, which received over 600,000 views, shows Vitaly aggressively approaching and filming people in the street of Taguig. Vitaly, 32, was reportedly staying in a hotel in Fort Bonifacio during the stay. On around March 31st, around 11 a.m., he was seen walking along Bonifacio High Street where the incident took place. He was caught on video confronting several individuals while live streaming content for social media. The complaints filed against him include causing trouble and harassment in public, creating a scene, stealing a personal item, and attempting to take something that didn't belong to him. According to reports, those affected include security guards and workers in the area. One guard said Zorodivsky forcefully pulled his ID back from his neck. Another worker said the YouTuber took his hat without permission, while a third, also a security personnel, claimed the foreigner tried to grab his service firearm. That's an extremely serious charge if he actually gets charged with that. To my knowledge, while Secretary Ramola has mentioned this and a bunch of media has mentioned this, I haven't seen the formal charge of him trying to grab someone's service firearm. But recognizing the suspect's foreign nationality, the Taguig police also coordinated with the Bureau of Immigration to determine possible violations of immigration law. A formal request has been sent to BI for updates on the YouTuber's current status for guidance on further action. Taguig authorities have issued a strong reminder to all visitors and online content creators to respect local laws, warning that actions meant to harass or humiliate people, whether on camera or not, can have serious consequences. The Taguig City Police Station assured the public that they are continued to monitoring the case and are committed to protecting residents from similar incidents in the future. So obviously, I'm kind of sitting here like, well, we didn't do this on purpose. I'm just sitting here making videos, man. Like if someone does something incredibly recklessly stupid on stream, I'm gonna talk about it. But then we see Vitaly booked and he's still goofing around.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in any court of law. Sure. Okay?
It took Vitaly a surprisingly amount of time to just lock in because I'm assuming he thought the same thing was gonna happen here as happened in Egypt, where he was caught, he was detained, he sat like maybe a week in jail, and then he was just returned home. But I'm assuming he quickly found out that this was not gonna be the case because then you had some photo posted of him in some like online Zoom proceedings, and clearly he's not having a good time. Then shortly after, he's perp walked out on national TV for everyone to see him, as Secretary Ramula tells the world that they're going to punish him to the fullest extent of the law. And Vitaly is still, for some reason, goofing around. But at the end of the conference, he asked if he could speak, and that's when he was immediately denied. And it feels like that was the first time he had the uh-oh realization. But then there was silence until about the 14th of April, when the president of the country you committed crimes in is reacting to the crimes. You are not in for a good time. You may be asking, why is all this happening? Well, so Vitaly has accidentally positioned himself as a little bit of a geopolitical pawn. I am no geopolitical channel, so I'm going to keep this extremely surface level because I don't enjoy speaking outside of my expertise and lane. But my understanding is the popularity and trust of the current Philippine government has been mixed and declining. So you have that, and then you have the overwhelming majority of the Filipinos who saw what Vitaly did in their country. They think what he did is completely unacceptable. Therefore, being very public about this behavior is not acceptable in the Philippines and will be punished to the full extent of the law is a very easy public approval win. Because this shows they're standing up for the people. And by doing this, they sent him to jail, specifically the Bureau of Immigration at Camp Bagog, Diwa, and Taguig. And here we have some early images of him there. But a few months in, we get an update photo, and he's looking rough. Because if you know anything about these jails, you never want to be there. You never want to serve any time inside a jail like that. Which is why you do not, under any circumstances, ever go to the Philippines and commit crimes, especially while live streaming yourself doing so. So 2.5 months after he was thrown into the first jail, he was transferred to the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. And once he got there, he was able to post bail, but was immediately detained again and transferred back to the BI facility at Camp Bagog, Diwa, because he's still under deportation/detention order as an undesirable alien. So the bail covered his ongoing criminal case, but not his immigration status. And from there, it was silence until rumors went around that his mother was scammed, which is extremely unfortunate if those rumors are true, as Vitaly is the one who acted like a moron here, so his family shouldn't be punished for that. But then we heard nothing from Vitaly in roughly 5 months until now. First, you had this image posted on Facebook of the jail that he's showing a man who looks like Vitaly seemingly being baptized. Then suddenly you have another rumor claiming that Vitaly was set free and was seen at the airport. And from what I can tell, I mean, that's not true. Then you have another rumor claiming that he joined a powerful cult in jail. And honestly, there is no way to verify that. But what I did want to know, though, is what the Filipino population actually thought about Vitaly. And did they even know who he was, and do they still care? But it's safe to say I ran into a whole bunch of problems trying to get that content for you guys. Obviously, I'm not gonna run up and shove a camera in people's face. And the way I did so was asking, hey, excuse me, do you know who the live stream of Vitaly is? Then if they did, I asked them what they thought of him, and then asked if I could ask this question on camera. For the most part, people over the age of 40 did not know who he was. For those who looked under 40, I would say about half of them knew who he was. Everyone I asked who knew of him said they did not like him because they think what he did was unacceptable. When I asked if I could interview them quickly, almost everyone declined in a very polite way. I did get a few interviews, but for the most part, nobody really wanted to be on camera. And I completely understand why. But in my short time in the Philippines, I had so many amazing interactions with people, to the point where I got so many random good mornings by people as I was passing. I had a very pleasant time there. But here are the few interviews I have.
Yeah, excuse me, guys. Do any of you guys know who Vitaly is?
Sorry?
Do any of you guys know who Vitaly is? No? Vitaly? No?
No.
All right, okay. Sorry.
From me personally, I think he's kind of
Yeah.
what he did. I saw the video and I was literally fuming through my phone. So it was really disrespectful to our culture, to my culture, basically.
Yeah.
I say give him the maximum punishment for him to be an example, just like what happened to Johnny in South Korea.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, I knew him like a long time ago. Dude was pretty much online. So when I heard that he came over here, I knew he was up to no good. And after hearing about what happened to him regarding his incarceration, I know he's in jail now. I think he should receive the maximum sentence. But what I do notice is a lot of people here pretty much forgot what happened here, and some people do know. I guess if they followed you, they would still know about it.
Yeah.
But pretty much like a lot of people here have just forgotten about it. Usually cases like this tend to drag for months, years. So I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't hear about like his case this week or the next month. So yeah, the justice system works really slow here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard people saying that's going to take 2 years just to get him in court.
Yeah, probably minimum, I would say.
So far, I would probably say that 60 to 70% do not know who he is. A majority of the elder generation have no clue. For the younger generation, the overall sentiment is about a 50-50, we don't care anymore, and give him the max sentence. And essentially everyone who wanted to come on camera, which are, as of recording right now, only 2 people out of the 20-something people that I've asked, both of those people were like, give him the max sentence.
So I was there for a little over 12 hours, and a lot of that time got cut because it started pouring raining. So suddenly, nobody was walking around for me to interview for a while.
I had to take a break from walking around and filming earlier because of rain, and the rain is back. I'm definitely feeling the 23 hours of travel right now. I am exhausted. I'm on basically no sleep. Oh, this is bad. Oh, why did I literally brought a rain jacket. What is wrong with me? Why would I not just like bring the rain jacket?
But now I'm home again with the conclusion that it's very easy to travel to the Philippines, be respectful, and enjoy your time there. So honestly, massive skill issue on Vitaly's part for literally thinking he was the main character and I guess was entitled to humiliate and harass strangers on the street without their permission for his own content. You just don't do that in general, but especially not in a country that's extremely tough on crime. And then you have a lot of people asking about Sly Kane, his cameraman during all of this. At one point, there were reports saying that he was wanted for questioning. Then suddenly you had articles claiming he was charged. But he has been streaming, and right after all this happened, he did briefly address this on stream.
Don't believe whatever y'all see in social media, especially, you know, these YouTubers who claim to have like high credit and know everything that they're doing, but are actually spreading fake news.
So, I mean, it doesn't seem like he's taking this too seriously. As of right now, he's still streaming in the Philippines, so it's unsure if he'll actually get any repercussions for Vitaly's actions. At the end of the day, it was Vitaly doing all this. It's not like he told him to do it in any way, but still, unfortunately, he was an accomplice because Vitaly, most likely, was paying him very well. So I did talk to a Filipino attorney there, and he said that this is apparently normal because being charged doesn't automatically result in a warrant for your arrest. It still needs to reach the court for the warrant of arrest to actually be issued. And as we know, Vitaly is finding out, that can take some time. If I was to make any guesses here, he'll probably get called in to testify when Vitaly finally goes to trial. But that can easily take another 6 to 18 months for the trial to even begin. So as of right now, Vitaly is just a sad reminder that you really do not want to become one of these quote-unquote nuisance streamers. And that is all we currently know about Vitaly. So drop a like on this video if you want me to go back and cover the trial itself. Subscribe if you're new, and Merry Christmas to everyone watching, and thank you guys for a wonderful year. Because the support you guys have been showing me recently has just been unreal, and I really, really appreciate all of you guys. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.